Which do you want first, the bad news or the good news? That's a question that you might have to ask quite a lot in business. And believe it or not, there is a scientific answer as to which one you should give first. Keep watching and I'll tell you. So which do you want first? Do you want the bad news first or do you want the good news first? Well, this is a question that we often have to ask in business. It might be for your customers, or it might be for suppliers, or even members of staff. And there is actually some academic research on this subject about what you should give first, the bad news or the good news. Well, the first thing to say is if you ever have any bad news, it's always the best idea to find some good news you can give with it. So you're not just giving bad news. Try to find something good that you can say as well. That's the first point. But which do you give first? Well, although my own professional expertise is in marketing and business, I'm also very interested in the science of psychology, and I do read a lot of psychology journals and academic articles. And I spotted one recently in an American journal called Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin, which is from the University of California. So researchers at the University of California conducted some tests on an independent group of people who were given bad news first followed by good news, and then good news first followed by bad news. And what they discovered was really interesting. As you might expect, the people who were given bad news first followed by good news felt better about the bad news. But when they did it in reverse, they actually didn't get the results that you might expect. What they found was, if you give the good news first, followed by the bad news, what happens is people are much more likely to act upon the bad news. So, what can this do to help you in business? Well, the main point of this is if you just need to convey some information to a customer, and it's bad information, it's bad news, then give them that bad news, that bad information first, and then tell them something good. For example, if price has had to be increased, then tell them that bad news first, but then say to them, however, we can deliver your item a few days earlier. Or something like that. Make sure you have a bit of good news to give them after the bad news. That will make your customer feel better. And obviously we want customers to be happy because a happy customer is more likely to be a loyal customer. But here's the really interesting thing. If you need your customer to act upon something, if you need them to take an action, then it's best to actually give them the good news first, followed by the bad news, because the research shows that if you give them good news followed by bad news, they are much more likely to take an action around that bad news. Obviously, we never really want to give any bad news to our customers or to our staff. In business, we want to avoid giving bad news, but sometimes you can't help it. It is quite common that you will have to give bad news in business. So at least now we do know the scientific answer of which order to give the bad news in. My name's Darren Bugg. I have 35 years experience in business. For the last 20 years I've been running several businesses, and for the last 4 years I've been working as a university lecturer as well in business studies, management and leadership. I've got absolutely nothing to sell. I'm not a business coach. I simply do these films because I want to help people. So if you could subscribe, like, share, all that kind of thing, share on social media, I'd really appreciate it. It's a big help. I'm uploading films once or twice a week, and I'm simply doing it because I love doing it and I want to help people. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the box below. There's no charge, there's nothing to sell, no motives I have behind it. If you put your question in the box below, I'll do my best to answer it, and if I can't answer it, then I'll point you in the right direction. Thanks for watching, and until next time, see you again soon, and hope everything goes well in your business.